hope you're having a great day. So I have not given an update in quite a while, and the reason for that is I think I was a little bummed that my Lisianthus failed, and I was going to try some other methods, and I was really just trying one method. I got some of these 72 cell trays, and I just took 3 different kinds of potting mix. I used the Espoma, I used some Earl May, and I used, not potting mix, I'm sorry, seed starting mix. I used Espoma, I used Earl May, and I used Burpee. So all I did is I got it nice and wet, but where it wasn't dripping, because when it's dripping, I feel like there's just more mold on it. So I just got it a nice consistency where if I squeezed it, it kind of held this form, but I didn't make it dripping wet. And then I just put it all in here. I patted these down, and then I put the seeds lightly on top. Because right now I'm growing lavender and I'm growing Lisianthus, and those both need light to germinate. So I added, I'm obsessed. I added another rack here, and then I bought some more grow lights, and I still have some grow lights coming in, so not all of the grow lights. Like I had to get the chains and the hooks for those grow lights. So those are all still coming in, and I plan on being able, because we're at the 13-week mark. So I know I've been planning everything early, and then I have to pot it up, and I knew that and I expected it. But Sunday is 13 weeks away from our average frost date, or what I'm guessing. I know, like, I look online and it says like the end of April, but honestly, I've had a garden for a few years. My dad had a garden for years. My grandpa had a garden for years. And like around May 10th was the date that we all go by. So I'm going by that date. If some of my flowers are late, that's fine. It is what it is. That's just what I'm doing this year. It might change in future years. But for now, that's what I'm doing. So that's why I have another grow rack. And here, I'll just see if I can give you kind of an update on everything. Okay, so first off, let's look at my lavender. Isn't it looking good, guys? I'm so excited about it. That one's actually been flowering, which I've been kind of pinching off the top. I've just been taking snips and snipping the top off, because what that does is it just promotes more growth on the bottom. I don't think I have one here that I've done that with, but yeah, so I have lavender there, and then I have the little lavender cotyledons that sprouted out the other day. Up on this shelf, I have my Lisianthus. So this is my new way of trying Lisianthus. I'm just going to put it in these containers. I'm going to keep the lids on, and I did the pre-moistened soil, and then I just placed the seedlings on top. And I decided not to put my vermiculite on it, because I've been noticing that maybe I got a bad bag of vermiculite, but I've been noticing that I have more mold issues when I use it than when I don't. So, and that is not how it is for most people. So obviously, like, something's just going wrong there. And then I have all of these trays here. So, and then I have this entire rack is filled with lavender. And it was so exciting today. I had to climb up here to the top rack, but if you look, I'm starting to get some sprouts. So my lavender is sprouting. Finally, the Munstead lavender. The Munstead lavender took about a week longer to sprout than the Elegance lavender that I had. So all of these are actually starting to have like little seedlings in them now. I'm pretty excited. Okay. So I've got all of these trays of lavender, and they are actually germinating. These trays right here are peppers. So I have them going at about 85 on the heat mat because they take a lot more heat to germinate. And the pepper starting date, I think, was last week, about February 11th, they said. So I just did the same thing. I used the seed starting mix, put them in the pots. And the nice thing about these is that, let me just, like, if you look over here, I'll just show you really quick. So you can just take this out and then you can lift it up. You put like water in the bottom of the reservoir and then you put this back in. And then what happens is the water like seeps up from the bottom and keeps your soil nice. And then over here, I've got some lavender down here. This is a little sticky thing because I have some gnats that are driving me crazy. But right here is a lavender where I pinched off the top here because it was just getting really tall. And I really want it, as you can see, it already started forming little buds down there. So now it's going to be a thicker, bushier plant at the base instead of getting like so tall and straggly. So I can't believe that it's actually like trying to flower down here, so I've been trying to pinch that off because I want to really promote root growth and not so much have it flower yet. It doesn't need to. And then here are some more lavender that are coming up. So those are all little leaves. It's hard to see. They look brown, but they're actually green. Let me see if I can. I think if I just turn this off for a second, you can see that they're all green. There are some lights from up above that are coming in, but we've got quite a few sprouting lavender. And then back here I've got my basil. It's looking good and it smells so good. And then next to it, my cilantro has been coming up. And we've actually been, then I have another tray of different seedlings, but we've actually been eating cilantro. It's so good. I love it. And then over there we've got some more basil. And I've just been planting. So as you can see, I have quite a few plants coming up. So like while I did that video and said it was failing, I did have a lot that were coming up. I love this. It's so good too, you guys. And I can just like pinch it off and eat it. I can just pinch it off, eat it. Because I've been ground watering it from the ground. Oh, it's so strong. Like, it's so good. I should just come down here and like, I've got my herbs. I'm so excited. And the lavender, like when I pinch off the little tops, it smells so good. Like I'm so excited. I hope to get an entire field of lavender so that I can, like if I get enough plants, like, you know, I've been wanting like 1,200 plants or whatever. If I get that, then I can take cuttings from that and start other ones. And hopefully one of these days I'll have like rows of lavender in a field. And then that's just really exciting to me because there's so many things you can do with lavender. It helps you sleep, which is awesome. But you can like dry it and then you could like hang it like on a wreath or whatever in your doorway, and when you like open your door, like it'll give off that lavender scent instead of like that scent of my dogs that I have right now. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited just, oh yeah, I got, let's see, I'll probably blind you, but I got some more inside grow lights there too. The other day I had put one of my laundry things up and I had plants up there. It's like, don't knock it off. But yeah, so my Lisianthus pretty much died. I shared that video where it was kind of a fail. But I have a lot of plants coming up. I have my herbs coming up. I'm pretty excited. I have a lot going on in here. I had to get another rack. And I'm just hoping these babies can make it through, you know, a few more months and get them out in the field, and hopefully they'll make it there too. And then from there we can just keep growing it. Lavender will last like 10 years. You can't really do anything with it the first year, but then after that you can take cuttings and put them in rooting hormone and then like replant them. So I'm hoping if I can get the 1200 lavender that I want this year, and even if I don't, I at least get them in the ground, get them started, and every year I should be able to multiply them with really no cost and none of this seed setup and none of this, just cutting maybe some root hormone, you know, to get them going, and then plant them right in the field. So that's pretty exciting. It's something nice to do when it's -2 degrees outside. I'm inside just playing with my plants, smelling the lavender. Isn't it pretty? I love it. So that's my update. That's what I've been up to. I've just been filling these seed trays, planting a lot of seeds, and coming down here and talking to them every day. So as you guys know, like, I had some problems with my Lisianthus, and I wasn't really sure what was going on. I thought maybe I was overwatering it, but then I watched a lot of videos, you know, and they're like bottom watering and letting it soak up, and I was watering from the top. So that's why I went ahead and got all the trays. I'm going to start the bottom watering process. But I also invested in a little thermometer that also tells me the humidity. So I don't know why that humidity is like jumping around. It's probably because I also got a humidifier. So what I found out when I was researching what the humidity should be to start growing plants, it was between 45 and 55. And while my basement is extremely wet all summer long, and it's not in the winter. It was like below 20 for the humidity. So I went ahead and got a little humidifier for this room. I got a thermometer. Both of them are Bluetooth to my phone, so they'll give me warnings if it drops below or goes above certain temperatures or certain humidity. So I have that going on now, and I haven't been able to get the humidity exactly right, but I'm getting it closer. And lavender doesn't like as much humidity as Lisianthus, so it's like, oh my god, do you need like 2 different grow spaces, or can I get this to work? And I am going to try to get it to work in here, so, because this is really like the only room I have without carpet. And I spill like dirt and water and everything everywhere. So I apologize. Like, I'm always in the, like, someday I'll be out in the field and out in the country, and it'll be like a nice scenery behind me, not my junk room that has a million plants. But anyway, that was another thing that I've been reading about. I got about a 300-page book on seed starting. I learned a lot about the scientific facts of seed starting. And then I learned a lot about like the humidity, the temperature. And while the packets say the temperature, I never really was like clued into the humidity factor. So that was something really good to find out too. So I will keep you posted. I hope you all have a great weekend.